You know, you're not getting any better at 37 nearly, you know, so you're only on a downward spiral anyway. So for my money, I understand boxing, I understand how it works. He's got nothing more to gain by doing anything in the boxing world. But it's only my opinion.
Talking all this bullshit!
At the press conference where my dad was saying he's the best he's ever been, he's the best man he's ever been, he's in fantastic form, but nobody wanted to report about that because it doesn't sell. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So a month later he comes out and says I'm retired and I'm no good and whatever else, and he's concerned for me, and that sells, so people want to talk about it. But in hindsight, my dad says a lot of stuff. And does it ever affect?
John Fury suddenly storms into the middle of the press conference and shoves his own son without warning, screaming that Tyson Fury must have lost his mind for even entertaining the idea of fighting Anthony Joshua. The entire room freezes as cameras scramble to capture the shocking confrontation. This is review.
Well, it sits with me as nothing really, because they should have fought 6 years ago when they was both at the best, they was both unbeaten, and they both had belts. It was a fight that was never going to happen, you know. And AJ in him would have been a blockbuster, a lot bigger than Usyk, you know. But these things happen, you know. Mountains sometimes miss each other on a very rare occasion, and these two have, you know. But it's gone now.
It is no longer simple fatherly advice. It becomes a public humiliation aimed directly at Tyson Fury. Tyson tries to brush his father off, acting as though the incident is just another headline in the endless Fury family drama. But that shove was impossible to ignore. It looked like a warning.
However, like I said, opinions of people mean little to me. And that's how I've been so successful my whole life, because I never ever took any attention to other people's opinions or concerns when it came to my boxing career. I always followed my own path, whether it be good, bad or indifferent, controversial, charismatic, whatever it might have been. I always stuck to the game plan that I wanted.
Shot delivered directly in front of the cameras. And Anthony Joshua is watching every second. As John Fury continues to rage, the psychological advantage appears to shift toward Joshua. John seems convinced that Tyson has already accomplished everything he needs to accomplish.
Men have not got what they used to have, you know. And 6 years ago it would have been the fight of the century, or he said that, and I was the one gunning for it, you know. But Deontay Wilder, he put an arbitration in, won it, and here we are today. It's history.
Yet he is still willing to confront his own son publicly to stop him from taking this fight. That's what makes the moment so powerful. Is John Fury trying to protect his son, or has concern turned into panic? Anthony Joshua doesn't need the version of Tyson Fury.
Really, for me, it doesn't really mean much. I beat plenty of unbeaten fighters in my career. But it means something when there's a rivalry there between fighters, but when there's no rivalry, like you don't really know the guy, have any personal relationship with him, then it doesn't really mean anything, because he's just another
from 6 years ago. He needs the fighter standing across from him now. Tyson admits that Joshua looks like a physical specimen, but then immediately tries to downplay the threat. Watch his reaction closely. There appears to be a moment where the confidence changes.
I have. It's a lot of pressure, but this is just the life that I live. This is what's been bestowed upon me, and I'm in a position to perform my duty, and I'll do the best of my capabilities for sure. So yeah, I miss it, but I'm back because I understand my duty.
Perhaps seeing Joshua's condition has made the reality of the matchup sink in. His father has just publicly questioned his decision. Now Tyson is insisting he is fine, fresh and fast. Something doesn't quite add up. Meanwhile, Joshua remains remarkable.
I always saw his interviews about sparring with AJ before the rivalry started saying he battered me, and this young heavyweight, you want to keep an eye on him, what happened? I mean, what was this? I think this was even before AJ turned pro, wasn't it? Or
16 years ago.
16 years ago. Right, okay. Well, if you want to, carry your strength from something that happened 16 years ago when Anthony Joshua hadn't even had a pro fight, but I don't know. I mean, all the reports that I heard was AJ battered him in sparring, but.
Calm. While the Fury camp appears surrounded by chaos, Joshua watches and absorbs everything. Every insult, every warning, and every emotional outburst can become motivation. Chaos versus discipline. And right now...
So I think it is what it is. I feel fresh, I feel good. And if I was on a decline, I'd say it. I'd be the first to say, you know what, I don't think I've got it no more. and I won't box, but I don't feel as if I've lost anything. I feel like I'm in my prime still. I feel fast, I feel good moving, I feel everything's really good. I've been away in Thailand training.
Discipline appears to be winning the room. The history between these two heavyweights only makes the situation more intense. For years, old sparring stories and rumors have followed Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Those memories have never completely disappeared.
But he's saying that Tyson isn't himself anymore. And I tend to agree with John Fury. He's certainly not at his best anymore. I mean, how could he be after everything he's been through and stuff like that? So I tend to agree with that, right? But he was saying words to the effect of that the Wilder trilogies took.
Now they're resurfacing at the worst possible moment. Tyson insists he is ready, but his father's reaction raises serious questions about whether everyone around him believes that. Even commentators have questioned whether Tyson is still the same fighter. Peter Fury has
Well, whether he can take him or not, you shouldn't be taking him, and he knows that. But when he's on his A game and he boxes, he can box. He ticks all the boxes, trust me. And he's exciting as well. And he does the right thing with this level of opposition because he's walking through.
Also raised concerns about whether this is the right stage of Tyson's career to take such a dangerous challenge. And Anthony Joshua is certainly not an ordinary opponent. Duke McKenzie strips away the mythology surrounding Tyson Fury, questioning whether his reputation...
You know, obviously Fury's got his own fans and people that think that he is a legend and one thing and another. Well, that's all well and good, but you've got to look at his resume. It doesn't stack up. Not to the great fighters. It doesn't stack up.
And past achievements can continue carrying him forever. A fighter can build an incredible legacy, but eventually age, wherein years of punishment become impossible to ignore. Then there is John Fury's warning about the...
Well, I never asked him to come back or encouraged him in any way because that's got to be his decision. He's a very wealthy guy. Financially, he's set up for life and probably 10 lives under. But he wants to fight and he's in the gym. He's in tremendous shape and that's his decision. And that's his decision. Understand, you know, where his family are coming from, his dad's coming.
People surrounding his son. The yes men accusation is particularly damaging. John Fury appears convinced that Tyson has people around him who tell him exactly what he wants to hear instead of what he needs to hear. From that,
and he's alluding to Sugar Hill Stewart, the people around him. I assume that's who John's talking about here when he says, you know, people are acting like his friends and they're acting like they got his best interest, but they don't, and he's not listening to me anymore, and he should have been doing easier fights, which again, if Tyson's not fighting for a belt, I understand the need to fight a contender to get back to the belt, which is why I think it's kind of tough.
Perspective, the shove wasn't simply an act of anger. It was desperation. It was a father attempting to force his son to listen. Dominic Ingle has defended the idea that John Fury's behavior comes from genuine concern. Strip away the shouting and confrontation. And there is a father who has watched Tyson's career for years and believes he knows when his son is taking an...
I think it was just funny listening to John because he is straightforward and people always say to me, oh, he's a nutcase, he's an idiot, he's kicking off. I mean, not really. I says that's the kind of public John Fury that you see. But if you've dealt with him, you know, off camera and behind the scenes over the years, you know he's a different type of fella. But he does get emotional when he's doing interviews, and quite rightly so, because it's his son. And you know, I don't care what anybody says. When you're in the position where John Fury is, and he's kind of come through with Tyson all the way through the amateurs, everything else. No matter what anybody says, a proper father is always going to have the son's back, no matter what. And in boxing, there's so many sycophants hanging about, waiting to take advantage of
unnecessary risk. Tony Bellew's assessment paints an equally brutal picture. The argument is that Tyson's window may be closing. Respect for everything he has achieved doesn't erase the physical toll of countless heavyweight battles. Johnny Nelson, however, reminds everyone that Tyson Fury remains ruthless once the bell rings.
He was a force to be reckoned in the heavyweight division, but I think, once again, every fighter has a window. I think his window's passed, which I'm sorry for, because it's a shame, because he's beat some really good fighters, and he's been in some really hard scraps, and I think he's showing that he's worse for wear for them scraps now.
Inside the ropes, friendship family, and history disappear. Only performance matters. But aggression alone may not be enough against Anthony Joshua. Joshua has power, athleticism, discipline, and a massive desire to reclaim his place at the top of heavyweight boxing. If Fury isn't physically and mentally prepared, the consequence...
He's no nonsense. He's no... My man looks at these big-ass dogs that look like dinosaurs. He's no nonsense. He don't ramp. So when the bell goes, no matter if he's your friend or foe, he's going to try and knock you out. So, and that's the job it's going to do. I think this can go one of two ways. One, it'll be a hard night.
This could be enormous. That's why John Fury's outburst has created so much discussion. Nobody knows exactly how much Tyson Fury has left. He can talk confidently during press conferences. He can joke, threaten, and convince everyone that he's ready. But eventually, the talking stops. The bell rings.
Emphatic victory to wet everybody's whistle. Get everybody talking about him again. Ultimately, talk's cheap. You can talk up the fight all you want. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to smash him. All the things that he may or may not say before the fight, because we're used to it now. We've heard it a million times over. What everybody needs to see is the proof's got to be in the pudding. What's he got left?
Then the truth comes out. What is at stake goes far beyond one fight. This is about Tyson Fury's legacy, Anthony Joshua's redemption, and the future of British heavyweight boxing. If Joshua wins, he silences the doubters and strengthens his claim as Britain's heavyweight king. But if Tyson Fury pulls off the upset, the entire story changes overnight. He would prove his father wrong, silence the critics, and remind the world why he was once considered one of boxing's most dangerous heavyweights. For now, though, the contrast is impossible to ignore. Anthony Joshua looks calm, Tyson Fury looks determined, and John Fury looks deeply concerned. This fight has already become a psychological battle before either man has thrown a punch. So who are you backing?